God is faith, the part of the natural man is reasoning. These lines can never meet. No matter, it's not like God is trying to make sense to man. It's not like God is trying to make the natural man see how he can navigate or come to understand. No, it is that these lines, they can never meet. That is why what you're doing as a believer, the natural man will look at it and call it what? Foolishness. That is why from the examples we got from this teaching, you will see a believer will get a job that seems good to the senses of natural man, but he drops it. Why? Because these things, these two lines can never meet. The natural man looks at it as if, what is this one doing? But the spiritual man understands. Glory to God. The spiritual man understands the path of God. The spiritual man understands the path of faith. The spiritual man have taken this decision. Like Pastor Choi will say, you have chosen that foolish path. You remain foolish. Just remain foolish. Stay on that foolish path. You have chosen it. Stay there. Glory to God. Now we've understood today also that the intention of God. Let's go to Genesis 1. Genesis 1 verse 1. Already 1 to 5. Okay, let's read. In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God moved upon the face of waters. And God said, let there be light, and there was light. And God saw the light, that it was good. And God divided the light from the darkness, and God called the light darkness, God night. And the evening and the morning were the first day. All right, from here, and other scriptures we've read, we've understood also that nature is God's hermeneutics. He uses it to teach man, but he does not want you to now stick to the things you're looking at. There's an intention of God in the scriptures. And from Genesis 1, we saw that God's intention has always been the heart of man. God's intention, where God's plan, where he wants to carry it out, has always been the heart of man. It's not in things. It's not in every other thing, but in the heart of man. We saw it from the beginning. That is the intention of God. Now, the believer also is to pick up the same thing that he has received and hold on to it and stay true to it. We've learned today also that we don't go questioning, we don't go looking at the Bible like the atheists. No. We arm ourselves with that intention of God. Then we navigate through the scriptures. We arm ourselves with what we know that God has intended for man, and then we go through the scriptures. That when we see the ark, we understand that this is God's safety for me. It's not talking about building anything. Glory to God. Glory to God. So we've understood that today. This is God's intention. So what is the believer's attitude? You know, the believer is one that when he understands something, even if he has not been doing it, and you now understand that this is part of my nature, what does he do? He adjusts. Glory to God. What does he do? He makes adjustments. This is my nature. I stay true to it. Glory to God. Let's look at Romans 12:11. Now we have received salvation. And that salvation, it didn't just come alone. It came in ministry. The believer does not just hold on to salvation. Yes, that is the key. That is the key. That is the death, burial, and resurrection of Christ. We don't make light of it. But the believer who have received this, what is his response? The response of that believer is to stay true to that call that he has received. Glory to God. Romans chapter 12. We're reading verse 11. Sorry. Okay. Let's read. Not slothful in business, fervent in spirit, serving the Lord. Now, this slothful here talks about lazy. Not slothful in business, the teaching we received sometime last year. Pastor said something. He said that laziness is dishonor. It's dishonor to ministry. That a believer will not, Pastor Joy said something today, that you now that, okay, this Bible is written for man, you pick it, man is supposed to read it and to get to understand God and to get and arrive at God. Now you that is a believer, how do you treat this Bible? How are you now supposed to hold it? How are you supposed to get to understand what is written therein? The Bible talking about here the business, he said their business is ministry. He's talking about haste. Not slothful in haste. He's talking about that the ministry needs urgency. The ministry needs urgency. It's not that I now know and I'm just sitting, I'm slacking. No, that's not what talks about being indolent, being lazy. You're just there. Indolency, there you see the word procrastination. You procrastinate. I'm going to do this today, but you know it's ministry. When you talk about urgency, you know what it means. There's something called job description. When you get a job, there's something called job description. In salvation, we received a job description as regards ministry. Glory to God. We received a job description.